there's a lot of beauty in the struggle. And like, yes, we should highlight the good times, but like I like to talk about, getting turned down by a girl. What does that feel like? Your insecurities, not getting a job that you really wanted, all these plans, preparations, family struggles. I like to talk about everyday stuff. I just want to be as me and as transparent as possible. Put more of me in there, be more vulnerable, let people know who I am.
Welcome back to another episode of the Kurative Podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Sutarji, and my guest today is actor, rapper, and musician, Dav Morales. Also known as Dav at Activepoet, he creates all kinds of art while having fun doing it. As you'll see throughout the episode, although he has that positive, carefree attitude, he's still a hard worker. In this episode, we talk about being vulnerable in his music, what he's learned from his job teaching improv in prisons, and how a 10-day silent meditation retreat allowed him to see life in a new light. Enjoy the show. Hello everyone. Before we get to the episode, I just wanted to say thank you for everyone who is watching the podcast on YouTube and listening to the episodes on all the podcast apps. There are many other ways to support the podcast. A few are to rate and write a review on iTunes. If you got value from the episode, you can share it with a friend, and you can email me at hello@kevinsutarji.com and tell me your story about which episode resonated with you. Also, when I announce my guest for the episode on Instagram and ask for questions, you can DM me your question for my guest. Lastly, you can subscribe and be part of the notification squad by opting in on getting notified on YouTube or any podcast app whenever a new episode is released. Thank you and enjoy the show. Thanks, Dav, for coming to my podcast.
Of course. Glad to be here.
For the audience that don't know you, why don't you talk about yourself and what you've been doing so far?
Hello, people. I am David Morales, or Dav at Activepoet. I'm an actor. I'm a musician. I like writing skits in my free time. I'm an artist. I'm based out of San Jose, California. I've been doing it for a while and just happy to do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah, so you're multifaceted artist right here.
Yeah.
That's cool. And what did you do first out of all of those?
Acting's what started it.
Oh, for sure. At what age?
So I grew up to a single mom. My mom raised me, and when she wasn't around, the TV was my babysitter.
Oh, okay.
So like watching all that and all these Disney Channel shows, I just was like, I got to do that. And I just didn't know how.
Right.
And I was blessed. The middle school right by my house is a performing arts middle school.
Oh, shit. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
It's my parents. Cut. Hello? Hi, Mom.
Got to keep this in there.
Can we talk about this later? I'm actually at a podcast recording right now. Sorry. All right. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
That's great.
Oh man. Okay. So I have my phone on silent every time. So if people call me, like, I don't even have the ringtone except for my family. And so
yeah.
It happened to be my parents.
Of course.
Let's kind of go back to how you started acting. So you watched Disney Channel, right?
Yeah, Nickelodeon, Disney Channel. I always wanted to be a Power Ranger when I was little.
Oh yes, definitely.
You know what I mean?
Mighty Morphins was like shit.
Fight crime against Ivan Ooze, like that was my childhood. And I was blessed enough. The middle school right by my house was a performing arts middle school that majored in music, dance, and acting.
Okay.
And the 6th grade orientation, that says like you cannot do this at school, was a bunch of skits. A bunch of people did skits, and I was like, what?
Nice.
You could do this here? So the next year I signed up for drama and then got bit by the theater bug and stuck to it ever since. Got an AA in it and been pursuing it.
Cool. And were you the type that loved to perform in front of people?
Secretly.
Oh,
like once I was comfortable with people, I loved to show off. Like I like to think I was a class clown at times, know, but of course I get nervous every single time I'm on stage.
How do you make sure that you're not nervous enough to the point where you're just frozen? Because like I actually did acting school at one point.
Hey,
my parents wanted me to like do a commercial, and I like rehearsed this like Got Milk commercial. During auditions I froze, and it was terrible. Like I forgot every single line.
No,
and it's kind of scarred me ever since.
No.
So like that's why I'm asking, because I got so scared I froze.
I feel it. I've been there.
You've been there.
Honestly, it's just rehearsal. rehearse. There was something in acting that my teacher told me. It was like, everyone behind that director panel wants you to do a good job, because if you do a good job, that makes their job easier. Then they're like, oh, I found you. I've been looking for you the whole time. So like, even though they have a straight face, they might look mean, they're hoping you're it.
For sure.
Yeah.
And so like, when you started to do auditions, did you like practice on your own? Did you train on your own, or did you learn in school or anything?
Went to school, went to Foothill. There was a 2-year acting program I did, but even then, drama in high school, and then at DN's I took a bunch of acting classes before going to Foothill. And luckily I've been surrounded by a great community of actors in the Bay Area that, give me tips, give me advice. I do readings with them. I practice auditioning with them. So
yeah. And Foothill is what you got the AA from?
Yeah.
Okay, for sure.
The 2-year acting program from there. Yeah.
Was your mom like interested in for you to act and stuff, or did she want you to do anything else?
It's super funny because like in my household, my mom's like super corporate America.
Okay.
Like she's in HR. And my sister and myself are the artists in the family. So she, like, getting out of high school, she was like, you should get a business degree and also an acting degree if that's what you really want to do, like minor in acting. And I took one business class and I hated it. It was just intro to business. It was nothing crazy. It was just intro. And I was like, I can't do this for the rest of my life. And then I took an acting class and I was like, Mom, this is what I want to do. And it was about the time when I was doing open mics and stuff like that. She was like, all right, if you're going to do it, you better get a degree in it and you better go hard for it. So I said, okay.
That's good. I think like sometimes, at least for the Asian parents, our parents always think about like, oh, you need to be like an engineer or like a doctor or something, right? Like make a lot of money. And we do a lot of extracurricular activities, whether it's sports, acting, music, whatever, but they never see it as like a career, right? And that's tough for people who really want to get into that. Yeah. So it's very cool for your mom to be like, all right, if you're gonna do it, just go hard.
Yeah, she's awesome. One of my boys, Chuck, is exactly like that. His parents like took him out of school to help him run like a mom and pop shop, and like they only wanted him. He's first generation Korean, and he was like, yo, I really want to do music, but my parents keep taking me out of this stuff. And he's great. And I was like, bro, you could blow up overnight if you just kept on going like this. But life takes you in different places.
Yeah. And I'm not to say that like every single parent is like that. I think it's just like kind of a lot of parents are getting more open to it. They see people on TV and they're like, okay, this is actually like a career people can take, So I think most parents nowadays are a lot more open, and our generation now, like when we become parents, we're going to be open to that. Yeah. Because I think when it comes to like having a lifelong career, like you got to enjoy what you're doing, or else you're not going to do so well, right?
Exactly.
So,
and like this new generation, like kids are growing up wanting to be like influencers and YouTubers. Like there's so much money to be made. I think a lot of parents just don't want to see their kid fail, and they want them to have that long career. And stuff like nursing and engineers and stuff like that is always going to be there. People are always going to need that.
Yeah. I mean, even gaming, right? Fortnite, holy shit.
Who would have thought?
People make so much money. Like it's crazy what kind of careers people can get now.
Yeah.
So I think I watched this like documentary on League of Legends on Netflix, and they were just saying like, oh yeah, their parents didn't let them do it, but then once they started like making money or getting sponsorships or something, then they're like, the parents are like, okay, I see it.
Okay, yeah.
And then people are making like millions of dollars,
It's so crazy.
It's pretty crazy.
Because I love video games. Like Smash Bros is my favorite video game of all time. I was actually in a Smash Bros tournament like 2 weekends ago in LA, and nothing crazy. It was just like something you could just sign up for.
Right.
And this 12-year-old just put me to shame. He put me down. He like changed the controls in there, and I already knew I was gonna lose. It was like a mind psyche. He probably didn't do anything. It was just like to psych me out.
Right.
And he totally demolished me.
It's not just like playing video games and competing. It's like psychological too.
Yeah. these kids are nothing to play with.
Cool. So then, besides acting, then like what got you into music and then everything with that? Because I know you're working on an album, and we'll talk about that soon. But did like acting bring you towards music, or was that like a separate interest that you just had on the side?
I think I've always loved music. The way music makes you feel, like listening to Michael Jackson and Motown. My mom like paved that for me. Like I always just love moving. I just didn't. I never thought I could do music, because as soon as my sister put me on to like rap when it was like 4th grade or something like that, it was just all gangster. Like Tupac, Biggie, 50 Cent. I was like, well, I don't come from the hood, so this is not for me, you know?
Yeah.
And it took till like middle school to listen to like Tribe Called Quest and like Mos Def and Common and Blue. These guys talking about like everyday struggles that I could relate to. So I was like, maybe. And then high school came around and I started always writing poems for English class. Every time there was like the Crucible rereading, like do an artistic project, I wrote a poem. Every time it was like Diary of Anne Frank, I wrote a poem. I thought it was cool. And then my friend Brian showed me this app that was on like on our iTouch. It was I Am T-Pain.
Okay.
And like you could have like the microphone in the iPhone, and then it was just like it would synthesize your voice.
It's like the auto-tune.
It would auto-tune your voice. So we would mess around and make songs. And then I teamed up with my boy Kadar, who was making music with his dad. His dad's a producer, and he's been like making music ever since he was in 5th grade. And then we would just like kick it every day and like write music. And then it just came like a pastime. And then people started feeling it after I dropped my first mixtape. And then, I don't know, it just formed into a love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got into like writing poems and then writing lyrics. What got you into that versus like instruments versus like music producing, like Josh and Rob, for example, and Kevin Shecky?
Man, I definitely want to get into like playing instruments in the future. I think the more I just like words. Like ever since I was little, like spelling bees, like I took spelling so seriously in vocab. Like
nice.
If you could ask anybody in class if they remember, but like when it came to vocabs, I would make flashcards. I would draw a picture. I'd write synonyms, antonyms. Like I'd be like on it. Me and my boys would like have conversations like, all right, 20 words this week. You have to use one in a sentence every day. And we're like, all right. So we'd like bet. We'd always like try to like challenge each other. Like I love words. So I think that's where the lyrics come from.
And did you ever get writer's block when you were writing either poems or lyrics and anything like that? Always.
You know, it happens every now and then, but I think it only comes from like me thinking of other opinions. When it's just like what I want to get across, like it's easy for me to just unload, and I don't really care about what anybody has to think about my music, because originally I did it for myself. It was my own self-expression. Like I do music for me, for no one to tell me how to do it, which way to do it. It's just me and my music.
Yeah, that's a great way to think about it, because like sometimes people make a lot of content for people to like on Instagram, on YouTube, whatever, and they talk about trends, right?
Yeah.
And they don't really talk about things that they want to create things that they want to create. And that's like a great mindset, especially to start at the beginning.
Yeah.
So what kind of topics and lyrics do you like to write about?
I like to write about everyday stuff. You know, I think Josh and Rob on here said, don't compare your highlight reel to someone else, or don't
compare someone's behind the scenes to someone's highlight reel.
Exactly. So like,
don't compare your behind the scenes to someone's highlight reel.
Exactly. So I'm gonna re-quote them. I think there's a lot of beauty in the struggle, and like, yes, we should highlight the good times, but like, I like to talk about, you know, getting turned down by a girl. What does that feel like? You know, your insecurities, not getting a job that you really wanted, all these plans, preparations, family struggles. I like to talk about everyday stuff, you know?
Yeah, so way more relatable, I feel like. Trying
to. I just want to be as me and as transparent as possible so people get to know me, because I think that's something, starting off in music, a lot of my friends were like, hey, I like you as a person, but I'm not liking your music. And I think there's some disconnect. They're like, you're an interesting person, like put that in your music. So the more I do it, the more I'm realizing like, okay, put more of me in there, be more vulnerable, let people know who I am.
Yeah. And when did you get into like incorporating music to the point where in your life, to the point where you wanted to create an album? Because that's a big step in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I started off doing mixtapes. I had like 3 mixtapes out, like from 19 to 21. But like they didn't really do anything. I wasn't really worried about clearing anything. I wasn't putting anything on Apple Music. It was just like for fun. And then
how old were you when you made those?
I made my first mixtape when I was 18.
Okay.
And then second one like 20, and then after that 22. And then I went through a streak after some family stuff happened. And I went to a 10-day meditation retreat. I just realized that like life is short. People spend their time in a bunch of different ways. So I teamed up with my boys, Wushay and Slum Music, and we created like an EP, 6-song EP. And I was like, oh, this is like an artist I've always wanted to do this. You know, artists always come up with these dope projects. Like, I want to come up with an album. So I've always wanted to do it. And I think Josh and Rob just like everything aligned for us to do it. But we were playing the single game for a while. Like a lot of people drop singles to get some buzz, you know.
Right.
I think 2018, I dropped a single every week for like 46 weeks.
Wow.
Almost a whole year. You know, I was trying to get my reps up.
That's crazy. And probably on SoundCloud, I'm assuming.
SoundCloud, yeah.
I want to talk about that a little bit more, but I wanted to know more about your 10-day retreat. Was it a silent retreat, meditation retreat?
Yep. Silent meditation, Vipassana.
Okay,
retreat.
You're the second person that I've talked to doing that. How was it for you?
It was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
It would be for me too.
But
sure.
It was the best thing I've ever done.
Okay.
Like, most rewarding. It's super hard. It's like going to a gym, but for your mind. And like in that time, you get to like reflect on a lot of memories. You get to like think, this is how other people live their life. They feed you, they like house you. It's a beautiful experience because you're not alone. You're there with other people, but you are alone, and you realize
can't talk to them.
Nope,
right?
Nope, not for 10 days.
Wow.
No phones, no
intense.
eye contact with anybody for 10 days. It's crazy.
Dang. And that, you said that kind of changed your perspective on your life and what you wanted to do.
Yeah, it made me super grateful about like everything I've gotten in life. Like where I was in life, I was like, a lot of family stuff was happening and like left me confused.
Okay.
And like lost, and it was just what I needed. Shout out to my boy Chuck, who's the one who's like, you need to go to this, you know, I'm going, you should come with, and he signed me up and we went.
That's so sick.
Yeah.
Is that in the Bay Area?
It was in Napa, the one I went to. It was in Kelseyville, but they're all over.
Okay. I gotta check that out now.
You should. It's awesome. It's hard. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it's
I can't
great.
sit still. Like I'll admit, I can't sit still. Even watching a movie, like I'll kind of fidget here and there, and I love to like be like, oh shit, you know, like
yeah.
So I can't stay silent, but that'll be a very interesting challenge.
I think you can. I think the hardest part about it is every time you meditate, you're meditating for an hour.
Oh.
So it's like you're meditating from like 6 to 8 hours a day. That's
long, yeah.
It is. It's like a work day just of meditating, but it's good, man. You have your hard days and you have your great meditation days. So it's like, it's a balance, and it shows you that's life. You know, you have your ups, you have your downs, not to be married to either. Just be present.
So do you meditate still?
Every now and then I've fallen out of it, but that's something I'm moving towards this next year. I want to make sure I go to it at least once a year or once every other year, just to like get back to my roots, you know?
Okay. Oh, going back to the retreat.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I definitely want to go back. It wasn't like a one and done thing. It was just like, it's good to restart that way.
For sure. Cool. That's okay. I'll definitely check that out now.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Cool. So with the music production now, how did you meet Josh and Rob? It was through San Hochella, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so how did you guys like meet up? Were you just like, oh, you performed, we performed, like want to hook up and work on something?
It's actually a super funny story.
Okay.
So I came a little early before my set, you know, and Rob is the one who I met first. It was the lineup was Thick Rick. Thick Rick.
I met him. I met him. He's cool.
He's cool. He's a cool dude. So it was Thick Rick, it was Josh and Rob, and then it was me. We had the first 3 slots, and Thick Rick was about to go on, and Rob comes up to me. He's like, "Are you Activepoet?" And I was like, yeah. He's like, "Dude, your song In the City, my boy Josh loves." And I was like, "Oh, that's what's up. I appreciate you guys listening to my music, you know?" 2 minutes later, I hear Rob yell, "Hey, Josh, this is Activepoet." And then Josh just comes up and he's like, and he just gives me a long hug. And I
could see that for sure.
You know, and I was like,
type, yeah.
I was like, I like these guys, you know. And then
they're cool.
We just look down. We're both drinking yerba mate, our favorite drink, and we're like, I see you. And then
you guys talk about that on your story all the time.
Oh man, we love yerba. We want to get sponsored by them.
Yeah, sponsor.
But yeah, and then from there they had a dope set. They played some dope instrumentals. They were rocking out to my set, and after they were like, "Hey, we got a studio in Campbell, please come out." And I was like, "Yeah, definitely come through. Like that's right by my hood." So ever since then, that one day that we hung out, it was just like good vibes. They're good dudes.
Yeah, shout out to the people who like create events for people to meet up, network, and connect. Basically, like you guys now are creating a project together, and you wouldn't have met unless you went to those type of events, right?
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
SJ Come Up, Lost in the Dub, Smile High, those guys, all of them.
Yeah.
Shout out to all you guys.
Cool. And with when you started to work with Josh and Rob, like, were you planning on making an album, or was it just like maybe a single first?
It was just like, honestly, when I meet up with producers, usually it's like to see if we vibe, you know, to see, because I always feel like great friends make great art.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
If you vibe together and you guys can talk about some topic, have a good conversation, you're like, oh, let's go deep into that. And like, they have awesome beats. So the way Rob and Josh approached me, they were like, yo, so we have a song, which is You Got Me. At the time, I didn't know it at the time. They're like, we have a song for you. And then after that, we'll give you any beats you want. I was like, okay. So then he started playing all their beats. And then there was a couple that just stood out. I was like, oh, I want that one. I want that one. So we made a list, and which is now the album.
Okay.
Which is funny. Nice. All 8 songs that are on there is the list of songs that like I wanted, and they gave me, along with You Got Me, and then the Shecky song that's coming out after the album.
Right.
So, yeah, it just was super, super organic, super fun, super light. And then, man, we just worked together like every week and made it happen.
Yeah, I think one thing that you actually talked about is very important is that like when you're working with people, it's not about just like raw talent. It's about like the people that you work with, like whether you vibe well or like whether they're easy to work with at least. Because I spoke to Angelo, he's another guest that I had. He's talking about like being in a band, right? Like they're a ton of like very talented musicians, but like if you don't mesh well, you're not really going to make good music, good performances. Like you can tell if people are not vibing well, right? So it's like super important, and that's a great way to like kind of decipher whether you're going to be successful with them or not. So that's cool.
And they're like very smart. Those guys are very smart, intellectual. Also, like they do everything in-house. Like they produce, they mix, they master, they also like film, they do all this production. Like when we do promos, it like we knock out all the skits. We knock the skits out in like 1 or 2 days, and they're also editing them that day. So we're like, man, we're ready to like promote something. We don't know what's gonna land in social media land, but something will stick.
Yeah, you guys work hard. Like obviously your guys' social media is just like content after content promoting a new song or like some skit, and some for them it's like a vlog, right? And so it's really cool to see you guys continuously working and seeing you guys release things here and there.
Thank you. It's super fun, man. It doesn't feel like work with those guys.
That's good.
It's awesome. I really enjoy working with them. And like something I read a long time ago, which now I'm starting to put into play, was like as much time you spend writing, recording, mixing, mastering, and putting out the song is as much time as you should put in promoting, marketing, and getting it out there, if not more. So the fact that they do all this promo and stuff, I'm just like, all right, I see you guys. I'm going to do the same on my end. Yeah. Like when it came for White Claw, that song we released, we played the game. We played the game. You know, it's a trend.
So crazy. Yeah.
Thank you.
How many White Claws did you guys drink just to promote that song?
Not as many as you think. Just the day we recorded it, we finished the 12-pack between us. Josh shotgunned 4 within like 3 minutes.
That's what I was gonna say. He shotgunned a lot.
Yeah, he did. I don't shotgun. I don't really drink like that, but it was fun watching Josh.
Yeah.
When it came to that song, I wasn't supposed to be on it. They just had that song, and we just want to have fun.
It looked like you guys were having fun for sure.
That's all we really care about. Just keeping it light.
So then when you were making the album, like, was it all fun and games, or is it kind of like you guys had some serious moments where you had to really, buckle down, or how was the process?
Oh, super fun. Something I like with producers, especially if they have a beat already out, like I'll like to talk while the beat's going in the background. Be like, so what did you envision on this? And like Josh and Rob be like, I just vision someone saying like, whoa. Right here, I don't know what the whoa is about, but like I hear whoa in this moment. I'm like, okay, that's enough for me to craft around. Let me paint around what you've already created. And then like we talk over some songs like Freak Show. We were like, man, this reminds me of this song. They're like, oh yeah. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna create that vibe around it, Okay. And they're super honest about their opinion. They're like, you're kind of going too fast right here. We can't understand. And like all their criticism is like very much towards the overall benefit. No, that's not the right word. The overall like.
It's like to create like the right track, right?
Yeah,
like,
to better the song. It's just for the outlook of the song. As good as we can make this song. It's not for like, oh, I personally want it to be like this. He's like, no, I think the song will do best if you do this and I do this. So it was a fun project. The album's called Lighthearted. It's super fun. All we were doing is like joking around. Don't take it too seriously.
Yeah.
So it's awesome.
How long did it take for you from start to end to like produce and write to make the tracks, record, and all of that?
A month. We did it all in a month.
Damn, that's fast. Is that considered fast?
I think I would say so. Eight tracks.
Seems like it.
8 tracks in a month. Because we actually were doing it as quick as we could because I was going to New York in July, the first week. So we met at San Coachella, end of April, I think that's when it was. And then May, we decided to meet up that first time. And then the end of May to all of June is when we were working on it.
Like once a week or?
Once or twice a week.
Okay.
Just recording everything we had. And then when I was in New York, they sent me all the rough tracks for it. And I was like, oh, dope. So then we were just like mixing and mastering from there.
Right. And what were you doing in New York?
I was doing a 2-week film academy at MFI, this Manhattan Film Institute, where you sign up, you pay this crazy tuition to get in. But as soon as you do that, it's so worth it because you have 4 days to meet with the 25 actors that are also there and the 25 directors. And then you film 2 short films for yourself. But the whole process is making 25 short films within 2 weeks with all these people. Yeah. Okay. And the days you're not acting, you're helping like do lights, you're gaffing, you're being a camera assistant. Yeah.
You're just going all around doing everything.
Yeah. It was intense, but it was awesome.
That's cool. And I noticed that you travel to other places for like gigs or auditions and stuff. You went to LA recently, right? Yeah. Could you talk more about that?
Yeah, totally.
Unless it's a secret, I don't know.
I could speak as much as I'm allowed to. I promise. So I got an agent in LA not too long ago, and she's been sending me out to auditions, which is a beautiful thing because that's the only reason I haven't moved to LA. Because I know a lot of people are like, you're an actor, go to LA. But even if I move out there, that's not a guaranteed job. So the fact that I have a beautiful job here that supports me, and then I can go to LA whenever I need to audition. And if I get it, I could talk to my boss about getting time off, you know? But I was down there for 2 weeks because I got a job with Nickelodeon. Yeah. What can I say? What can I say? It's going to be a holiday show. It's going to air in December. It's like a competitive show, I would like to say. Okay. And it was super fun. 2 weeks working with Nickelodeon. Oh, that's super sick. Fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun show.
And then you also did something where I think you were rapping in front of a camera and like there are other artists behind you kind of like cheering you on and stuff like that.
The Bay Area Cypher.
Okay, yes, that one.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've done a lot of plays in the Bay Area, and that just got sprung upon me because one guy, Philip Wong, wanted to, put together all this talent. He was like, man, Hamilton's going crazy. I know there's a bunch of talented people in the Bay Area. So he like teamed up with these OG artists, Felonious, and he was like, let's see how many actor rappers there are. And then it got posted on Facebook. I got tagged in it, and I was like, nice. Oh, let me get a part of this. And yeah, it was super fun. Awesome experience. I hope it's like the beginning of something great in the Bay Area to birth.
So in terms of like collaborations, how do you know which ones you want to go for, or like do you meet the people first, or like how does it work?
Good question. I like to vibe it out, especially with music nowadays. If like an artist wants to collab with me, I always say like send me their music, or I'll go through their music to see their vibe, because you can tell a lot about people through their music that they put out. Like, are they trying to have fun? Are they trying to give off an image? Is this who they really are? And with acting, I think at this point in my career, I'm just trying to level up as much as I can. Like, once you get older, you're just like, how much is like passion and money, you know? Like if I have to drive to San Francisco every day, how much am I getting paid? Is it just gas money? Is it less gas money? How much do I love the project? Yeah. Is it going to help me if I work with this company? So I like to balance a lot of things out.
Yeah. I think that's something that I'm trying to figure out myself, because like with the video, with like podcasting and some other projects, I don't make money, or I don't make that much money. And so obviously it's like trying to build reputation, also trying to build connections, right? Because a lot of times I think people don't want to work with me unless they know me, unless they trust me, they trust my work, right? Okay. And I have to kind of like make sure that I'm not just like another videographer just trying to get their business.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Yeah,
right?
it is fair, but like if I like the fact that you like, I mean, Josh and Rob, I saw you guys work, and I was like, man, that looks fun.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Anybody who's just trying to like get some XP, get some experience points, like why not? You know? What do they have to lose?
Exactly. I mean, I think, you know, I was very fortunate with that because I got referred by Shecky, by Kevin, and as well as David from Smile High.
Nice.
So like, you know, just that referral, like connection and through community, like that's huge. And I think that's easier to like meet talent and like work with them.
100%. And that's what I'm trying to work on this year too. 2020, I'm trying to put my roots deep in San Jose and the Bay Area. I'm trying to make sure people know who I am. Yeah.
So I'm assuming that you like meet a lot of people through all of the shows, right?
Yes and no. More of like, it's hard to say. Like it's hard to meet with other artists because sometimes they're like so self-focused, which I totally understand.
Sure.
That they're not willing to expand with another artist, but I just am very envious of the communities like Chicago and New York. That seems like when somebody's on, everyone, the whole city looks like they got their back. Like G-Eazy, everyone loves him in the Bay Area. I've never seen him in the Bay Area, but I love G-Eazy, you know? But I wish like, you know, like he does show a lot of love out here, but I wish it was like more like that around here with any artist. Everyone just like, yeah, we ride for Shecky, we ride for Josh, we ride. Like, you know, I wish it was more like that, but I think everyone's just like so self-focused. So sometimes it's hard to meet artists, but I just think the more I go out, I meet more people.
Right. I think what's interesting is that like I thought that too, and then once I started to like get to know David from Small High, and then I started to meet people from Martha Street art, and like they're all supporting each other. Like you see on Instagram, they're all like shouting each other out. They're working with each other, collaborating on projects, and as well as like events, right?
Yep.
And so I feel like San Jose is up and coming.
It's getting there. It's getting there, which I
there.
love. That's another reason why a lot of people are like, you should move to LA for acting. And I'm like, what? Netflix is down the street. Like, what are you talking about? Like, we on the come up right now.
Yeah.
Like, and I shout out to people like Martha Street Art and like SJ Come Up and Smile High. They ride for us like so much. Like David texted, or no, he reposted You Got Me the other day. He was like, man, it costs nothing to support your friends. And I was like, man, I love you, man. I love you.
Yeah, he really like has that genuine interest in building a community. And it's not, I mean, shout out to David, obviously. Like he was one of the early guests, and you can tell his passion. Like when he's talking about it, he's like, his whole focus is on just creating that community, supporting people, especially like the up and coming people, right? And like I think a lot of us don't get that much support or attention that we truly deserve. And I mean, I'm not saying that I like am like super talented like you guys, but I think
you are.
No, I mean, you guys are really talented, and
but you're talented too.
And I think it's great to have someone that pushes your content out and like supports you guys. So
and it's also really interesting to me. Like my barber is like, hey man, you don't post any like motivational videos on your story anymore. I'm like, no one says anything. He's like, but I love that. And it's just like, how many people like watch your content but don't say anything?
You know, I said something recently on that. Like I feel like I don't know who my supporters are. I mean, I see stats like numbers on like YouTube, on like Libsyn, which is like the podcasting platform, but I don't know like who is this listener that listens every single day or something like that. And I have people like my brother, my roommates that say, oh yeah, I listen to your podcast, but I don't know who else. And like I appreciate everyone who's listening, but they don't say anything,
right?
And I think, you know, sometimes we create content and we do work for ourselves, but it's nice to hear that, you know, if people are listening or, you know, they feel what you're making and stuff like that, like they should say something. I think it'd be great. Like,
as simple as like, hey, I listened to that, I enjoyed it, keep doing that. And I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna keep doing it.
You know you're going on the right path. Or something.
They don't have to comment all the time, but just like, hey, let me know you're listening. Okay,
for sure.
Cool.
And like your core followers, your core listeners are gonna help you get to that next level, because
Yeah.
they'll give you like honest feedback or real support and stuff, and that's what you need. You don't need like fake support and people who are trying to like, they have an agenda or anything.
Exactly. And if they're day ones, you're always going to cater to them.
Exactly.
If they show themselves, let them be known, man.
Yeah.
The possibilities can open up.
Exactly.
What do you want? Activepoet barbecue sauce? I got you, you know?
There you go. Kind of like spread out to other things.
Exactly. What merch do they want? What do they need?
If you make that barbecue sauce, let me know. I love barbecue sauce.
Okay.
Yeah, let me know.
Got you.
Have a Shecky, Activepoet, and Nobody Important barbecue sauce collaboration.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. You got me thinking that actually might be a thing. We'll see.
You should do it. I mean, you gotta get sponsored by White Claw.
Oh man,
Yerba Mate.
Yerba Mate is a big one. I don't think we're gonna get sponsored by White Claw. We kind of did that to play the game. You know, it's like that's what this is all about. To make the music you want. Like people like R.I.P. Mac Miller, but people like them, it's just like, man, they play the game so well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they made the party music, but then if you listen to the second album, it's all soul, hip hop, conscious.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you live here, and so do I. You know?
Right. I mean, it is what it is. Like, you know, when people are making YouTube or they create like Instagram posts, like they kind of know the algorithms or something, and like it kind of sucks to do that, but sometimes you gotta kind of play the game, right? Just like you said.
100%. I'm down to play the game. I don't care if I get known for the White Claw song, and then if somebody is curious enough to listen to another song, they'll be like, whoa, what is this?
Right,
you know?
right. Yeah, for sure. Cool. So you did mention that you have a full-time job.
Yeah.
And so how are you, because it seems like you're very active in your music and your acting. How are you balancing everything?
You know, I'm blessed. My job right now is I teach improv in prison throughout the week. I teach in 9 different prisons. And so I'm constantly practicing my skills with acting, and like it's super rewarding job. And the person who runs the company, she's an actor, director, producer, so she understands actor schedules. But for the most part, you know, it's a dope job, and it's only Tuesday through Friday. So the rest of the time I dedicate to music or doing other acting endeavors. How
did you get that job? Like, how did you find out about it? Because I wouldn't even know that prisons are teaching improv classes.
Me neither. You know, through Foothill, my college professor who taught improv, he's actually one of the forefathers of comedy sports downtown San Jose. If you ever seen it, it's like the comedy show that they do, like it's an interactive comedy show.
Oh no, I haven't
awesome.
Heard of it.
It's awesome. Yeah, he actually recommended it to me. I was working at Guapo's. I was bar backing over there, and then he recommended it to me. I was like, you want me to work in prison? I was like, no. And then she approached me, and I was like, all right, I'll look into this. And then I did one day, and man, it was just like my first day in theater class. The fact that like, as soon as you laugh with somebody, like no matter the differences, you know, in prison it's super segregated still. So we get to mix up the class, and as soon as like somebody of a different ethnicity is like laughing with each other, you can't take that back. You guys laugh with each other, you know, it's like you guys have the same sense of humor. So it's like, it's
there's
beautiful.
That bond.
Yeah. It's beautiful to see that, you know, they have to put up these masks in there, but like in this class, they get to escape from prison for like 2 hours. So
that's cool.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And compared to like acting and making music on your own versus like teaching people, I'm assuming there's some correlation with it where what you're applying with teaching maybe goes into your music and acting, and vice versa.
100%. It reaffirms my skills, and I'm always learning from everyone. I like to keep the approach always. I'm a student and a teacher. Like I have stuff to learn and stuff to give all the time.
Yeah. Do you like teaching?
Yeah. I don't think I want to teach too much, because like I'm constantly like, what do I know? You know, I want to learn a lot, you know, before I teach. But yeah, I think the more I do, the more I'll be comfortable with teaching, because I've always loved when teachers, like in acting class, I'm like, you're teaching me how to do this, and then out of nowhere they do something, and I'm like, oh, I'm looking up to you, you know. I want someone to be like, oh, you've been in this and this and this. Yeah, I want to listen to you, you know.
Yeah. So how do you approach teaching then? Because if you are kind of unsure about whether you deserve to teach, right?
Yeah.
And that's maybe something that I have a problem with, where if someone wants to get into videography, I know like enough to tell them what I know, but there's so much more, right? There's a vast majority of knowledge that I don't know. Like, how do you approach teaching the people when you feel like you're still a student? Honestly,
it's my fearless leader, Karen PM. Like her approach to this. She's been doing this since 1992, teaching in prisons, and then like doing acting way before then. And we go in there as a group. There's 3 or 4 other actors in there with me. So them giving me the affirmations I need and all the support I need, and we give each other the support. So like if I miss something, they piggyback right on that. So we're like, we're constantly learning from each other.
Okay. What do you teach them, like the prisoners, about like when it comes to improv and acting?
So we just start off it's a 12-week program. In the first 6 weeks, we just work on the fundamentals, like working on a location, imaginary objects, imaginary characters. And then once we get their skills down, that 6th week, we get in a circle and we talk about like what issues are important to them. It might be Trump. It might be climate change. It might be why Pluto's not a planet anymore, whatever's on their mind. And then we get like together these small groups, we break them up, and then we're just like, okay, what do we want to make this piece about? And then we just formulate these small little skits and we put it together in one story, and then they get to perform it in front of their fellow like participants and inmates.
What is a misconception about prisoners that you want to debunk?
Man, they're people. They're people who've made mistakes, man. Sometimes a lot of people look at prison like in movies. I know I did. And I was like scared of people, you know. I was like, oh, these are the worst of the worst people. Like, definitely. Yes, and there's also great people in there who were just like, who grew up in bad neighborhoods. Some kids had to steal because they didn't have food, you know. And like some people were victimized to like systemic racism or like whatever, you know. It's just like, they're people. Yeah. They're people, and like, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I like being in there more than like being on the outside, because most of them spend their time getting the free education, reading books, trying to better themselves, trying to be better fathers, better human beings. And I'm just like, man, makes my heart hurt every single time, you know?
How do we change what people's perspectives are with prisoners? Because, I mean, obviously through this podcast, you just said like they're just people, right? Yeah. They're trying to do better. They might have made a mistake and they're trying to make up for it. But like, I don't know. I feel like people are very biased, like
100%.
And I don't know, like even for me, I've never been to a prison. So there are a lot of people who will never see that side and like meet these people. Yeah. And I went to like a homeless shelter one time. Like, I think I volunteered with like my school or something, and we served lunch for them. Mm-hmm. And these people are just like, you know, again, they're just regular people. They just had a bad situation. Yeah. They lost their job or something, or rent got too high, right? And they speak normally. They're not like, you know, aggressive or anything, and it's just sad.
Yeah, it's super sad. I remember my sister told me this thing one time. She was like, what would it take for you to be homeless? And I was like, what? I was like, I've never thought about that. She's like, neither have any of these people who are homeless. I was like, man. Yeah. You know? And going back to the prison thing, I think everyone's opinion about prison, I think, is all out of fear. Mm-hmm. Like, there's less love in your heart when you're thinking about prison. You're like, these people did something bad, and you're scared of like, if these people get out, what are they going to do to me? And it's like, nah, they just want to go out and live their life, you know, be with their kids, you know, live a better life. They realize they don't want to live here for the rest of their life. They want to experience the same fruit that you're experiencing, you know. Mm-hmm. And something, I follow a lot of motivational people. Yeah. So like Gary Vee says you should go volunteer at an old people's home. But for me, like working in prison, seeing kids our age and even younger, like stuck in there, like wasting time. Yeah. Is just as motivating for me to like get out and do something as it would be to work at a retirement home. I'm just like, man, they're literally sitting on their best years, you know. Yeah. But they can still come out and come on top. You know, you hear those success stories all the time.
Yeah, definitely. So you're acting, you're doing music, and then you're teaching at prisons. And so it seems like you're doing so much at once. Do you ever burn out, or are you the type that has so much energy, like you'll never burn out or anything?
You know, I burn out every now and then. You know, sure. I especially when I get sick, that's when I binge watch a lot of things. That's when I like recharge my batteries. Yeah. But man, something about art just refuels me all the time. It's like, it's recycled inspiration, you know, when you're doing one thing, and like, especially with music, like we'll make a song a month back, like when we made Lighthearted in June, and it's just coming out now. It's like, I get that second win, like after it's come out, I'm like, oh, this hard work paid off. Yeah, you know? Yeah. But yeah, man, I do burn out, but I just love it. It's just something you love to do, and just taking those moments for self-care.
Yeah. What are the kind of action items that you actually do to take care of yourself and make sure that you're remotivated? Because like you can get motivated to say, oh, I'm going to start videography, but that motivation is just going to die. And like, I need to make sure I have the discipline to continue on, even when I'm not feeling it. Yeah. So what do you do to make sure that you continue on to like finish up the album, or, you know, go to practice for acting, you know, for Nickelodeon or something like that?
Yeah. Honestly, for me, that's like what a big thing I'm working on is finishing strong. Because I have a million ideas. Talk to anybody who's worked with me, like, oh, we should do that and that. And then I have this skit idea, and they're like, okay.
Yeah.
Execution point. Self-care things I do for myself is meditate when I can, go to the gym, sleep, treat my body like a temple. I eat right. You know, I try to eat as many greens, leafy stuff as I can. But, you know, sometimes you have your late night munchies. You just need to eat whatever you need to eat. Kicking it with good people, man. Good people fuel you, you know, just having good conversations and like really making time for family and relationships you have, you know, make sure you nourish those seeds in your life. Make sure your garden's growing in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And something I learned in the meditation retreat is like inspiration comes and goes. Show up every day for the discipline, not for the inspiration, because, man, that'll get you there.
Yeah. I like that. I think, you know, that's something that I'm trying to work on. Just like making sure I continue on with what I want to do. And that discipline is very hard, especially like if I'm not doing just that. So with videography, you know, I have a full-time job as well. And it's hard to stay disciplined on one thing while doing another thing. Yeah. And like you're doing 3 things at least. So, you know, props to you.
Thank you. Yeah. I think for me, it's also easy too with acting. It's like, there's not always an opportunity for me to go to an audition or for me to be in a play or like a film or whatever. And like music's always there. That's the beauty I love about music. I can open up my laptop, go on YouTube, instrumentals, and just freestyle. And like, you know, it's always there for me in that therapeutic way. But when acting's there, I can like drop everything because I spent all this time with music. So it like gets categorized for me.
Okay. And I'm assuming that means you're prioritizing acting over like music sometimes. Like when you have like a gig or audition, you just like, okay, I put my music in the back burner. I'll just do this audition first and then come back to it later.
I think that's why I spend most of my like free time doing music, because I know when acting does pop up, it takes so much of my effort and I get tunnel vision. True. Like I just got cast in a movie, so I'm excited for like just to focus on that and like the album to be out and like the promotion doing itself from there, but just tunnel vision on the movie. So yeah.
Have you heard of essentialism?
No.
That is just like a term where people like focus on one thing and that's the top priority. And then like once they finish that, then they can move on to the next thing. And it seems like that's what you're doing. Like that tunnel vision is like, I'm just going to work on this top priority. Yeah. Do as much as I can, put my time and effort, and then do well. And then when that's done, go to the next thing, you know, like one by one.
Exactly. And I mean, for me too, I also look at from a financial point of view. I get paid to act nowadays. True. Like I've made it a goal. I'm like, okay, how do I want to fuel myself and like be financially free? Acting. Okay. Yeah. Acting is how I'm getting paid. If I have that, then my hobby, still do it professionally, is music. And I don't plan to get paid on music. Like when we do shows every now and then, yes. Okay. But I'd rather perform for free and get exposure than worry about a paycheck for music. Because I understand if you're grinding for music for a paycheck, you might be, I don't know, you might be like putting out songs every day, not worrying about how great it is. You're like, oh, I need to make a song about White Claw Truly and every other hard seltzer, right. You know?
Smirnoff.
Exactly, whatever. So right now it's just like, I'm having fun with music, and I think that's where the love stems from. And you'll hear it. If you listen to the album, you'll hear this guy's just having so much fun.
Yeah, that's a great way to think about it. So when it comes to auditions then, I'm assuming like there are times when you don't get the part or whatever.
All the time.
How do you deal with that? Were you really good with rejection back then?
No.
I feel like no one is, but
no one.
I'm asking this question.
Yeah, I definitely was not good with rejection when it came to like sports, girls, anything. Like rejection was my worst fear, like getting no.
Did they get you fucked up?
It did. It did.
You fucked up.
All the time. You got me fucked up, rejection. But like as of right now, I've come to the point like, what's the worst? I'm just not right for the role. It's nothing personal. Like the worst they can say is no. They're not gonna bash me, you know. Just putting yourself out there, man, not being scared to fail. Like I always want to take more risks. I feel like I do things that I'm like, I could have gone further, you know? So it's just reminding myself to have fun, and life's short. So what? just because I didn't get cast in this, there's going to be another audition next week. Like, what am I tripping about?
That's great. And did it take you a while to finally get to that mindset?
Yeah, because when I first started acting, I never got a lead role. Like, I was ensemble number 14. My first role was a carrot in a garden. Like, I was like, why am I doing this? You know, like, I really want to I can be the lead. I'm trying to be Will Smith. I'm trying to and then it took college for me to get a lead role in like a short film. And then for my director, same one who brought me to Red Ladder, the prison program, put me in a lead role in a play. And I was like, somebody believes in me besides myself. I'm not crazy this whole time, So as soon as you have that belief from somebody else, it like fuels you again and be like, yeah, I am supposed to be here. I do deserve this.
Yeah. I think it's definitely hard work, and you have to like put in the time. 100%. And sooner or later, someone's going to notice you. Yeah. And I think I'm assuming you didn't give up, or you might have thought about it, but obviously you didn't.
Yeah, I thought about it, but then I was like, I've come too far.
It's too late now.
Yeah.
You already told your mom. She told you to go hard.
Yeah.
You're going hard.
Invested too much money. I'm like, I'm here. I'm an artist for the rest of my life. Sorry.
Man, I should have redone another audition.
Yeah.
I was so scarred by that audition. I didn't act ever again.
You know, the beautiful thing about acting is there's always going to be a role for you. No matter what age you are. Yes, you might not get a high school student anymore, but I'm sure there's a lot of people who look like you, who want to hear your experience and want to like live their life vicariously through you. No matter if you're Morgan Freeman's age. That's what I'm excited for. Because like, if I don't blow up, quote unquote, to society, like maybe I will at Morgan Freeman's age, and people will be like, I love him, at them. So I'll be like, man, I've been doing it. There's no overnight in this.
Yeah. Did he start really late then?
No. He just didn't make it or like make it in society.
Okay.
Know?
Wow. Shout outs to Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, I know.
Being inspirational right there.
There you go.
Cool. So I think this is perfect time to go to Instagram questions. We have a good amount from Josh and Rob, so I want to get through theirs. They had like 8, and I was like, dude, you guys are crazy. I'm gonna try to incorporate their questions into like just our conversation.
They have silly questions. I know it.
Yeah. It's pretty funny. And then I got a few more from others.
Cool. So, thank you others out there.
Not Josh and Rob.
Not Josh and Rob, because I know it's coming.
Okay, so the first one is from. So I'm gonna ask Josh and Rob first. Who's your favorite, Josh or Rob?
Don't say that. Dang. I love them both for different reasons.
Okay.
I'm going to say out of Josh and Rob, I like nobody important.
There you go. Good answer.
Yeah.
Okay, the second question is, what's your current acting project you're working on besides the Nickelodeon? Anything else?
Yeah, I just got cast in a movie. It's a short film that hopefully is going to turn into a feature length. Nice. It's called The Lake Merritt Monster, based out of Oakland. I play a 16-year-old kid whose mom gets taken by a monster out of Lake Merritt, and we find out all this crazy monster hunting stuff that's been going on in Oakland. It's kind of like Stranger Things for colored kids,
Cool.
Yeah.
What's the release date for that?
We start filming November 6th.
Oh, soon.
So yeah, super soon. I don't know when it's going to be released, but yeah, short film coming soon.
Exciting. Cool. Who is Thick Rick?
Who is Thick Rick? Man, Thick Rick is a legend amongst San Jose. He goes to San Jose State. He's the thickest walking around. He's got some beautiful music and melodies.
He's super talented.
He is super talented, that guy. I don't think you could put his voice to what he actually looks like. That is true. I didn't expect, like when I saw him perform like through one of your guys' Instagrams, I was like, damn, he's good. He's thick.
Yeah. Are you guys like working with him at all?
Yeah, we have we finished a song with him.
Cool.
Yep. So get ready for Sad Boy Autumn. That's the name of the track.
Nice.
Yep.
Looking forward to that one.
It's gonna be good.
How did you come up with the name Activepoet?
Activepoet, man. How did I come up with that name?
Actually, I don't know if you mentioned that, but like you go by Dav or Activepoet, right?
Yeah, or Dav at Activepoet. At the time, I was like, do I want to? Because my name, David, that's my real name. But like ever since I was little, my family's called me Dav. So I was like, oh, I want that to be my rap name eventually, because I had a horrible rap name at first. So I was Duke Fresh for a while.
Oh,
let's not go there. But I had to be honest.
Okay.
So then I had to change it to Dav, but I was going through Apple Music and there's like a million Davs. So I was like, man,
Got it.
I need a different name. And at the time, I think my Instagram name was like Oh Snap David or something like that. And I was like, let me change it now. I was like early on in Instagram. And Activepoet just came to me because I was like, okay, I did do originally the name generator and it was like touchy-feely unpublished poet or something like that. And I was like, okay, I like poet of that. And I was like, act, because I'm an actor. So active came. I was like, oh, I do this every day. So I was like, Activepoet. I was like, that kind of has a nice ring to it.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, thanks.
It's a cool name.
Thank you.
Cool. And the last one is on my episode with Josh and Rob.
Yeah.
They mentioned that there's an unreleased track with Shecky.
Mm-hmm.
What is the status? What is the status of that? And are you guys done?
Are we done with it? Last time I checked, they just needed to put their last finalizing touches. I already recorded my stuff, so
Okay.
It should drop after the album, so sometime soon.
Okay.
I think it's called Airplane Mode, so be on the lookout for that.
Sweet. Cool. Those are all the questions from Josh and Rob. Thank you guys
Thank
for
you,
asking
Josh
way
and
too
Rob.
many questions.
Hey, participation. You know?
Yeah, that's true. I was asking them. So
They're those kids in the class like, ooh, you're like,
Yes.
we're done with that. Ooh, wait.
that's true.
those
That's
are
definitely them.
That is them.
Both of them would have their hands raised.
I know.
Cool. So the next question is from Danny Mendo Music.
Cool.
And we were talking about how you guys know each other from Foothill. So shout outs to Danny.
Shout out.
She's talented as well, by the way.
Super.
Shout out to you.
I saw her in an amazing production of American Idiot. We'll never forget it.
Yeah.
I love Green Day.
Have you ever been able to work on a theater project that lets you rap and sing? Kind of like a musical. And would you want to, if not?
Yeah, of course. I think me and her both auditioned for Hamilton when it was first doing the touring at that time.
Like a Bay Area Hamilton? Or
Yeah, when it was doing a touring show, like they have like residency in New York where you can always go see it, but so many people wanted to see Hamilton, so they're like, we need to do a touring show. So yeah, I think me and her auditioned at the same time for that, and I'd love to do Hamilton. But right now I've done a couple performances of a new show that's coming up called Co-Founders, How Silicon Valley Failed to Succeed. And I've done a show at Netflix, and then I've done a show at the Palace of Fine Arts. It was like in front of the startup people, because it's kind of like, you heard of Mark Zuckerberg and Steve Jobs, but do you know how like the Bay came up and like where this cross is like not existing? So yeah, it's combining rap and singing in the Bay Area. Yeah.
Nice. Oh, that would be interesting though. To see.
Yeah. They're on like their 5th draft of the script, and I just got on late, but it's super awesome. I'm super enjoying working with them.
Cool. So the next question is from Sincerely Sunshine Cat. Is your mind always on blast with ideas, or do you need to like rest, process, then produce?
I'm always going. I'm always thinking of new ideas, and it's just beautiful to be around so many talented people, especially my coworkers in the prisons. Like we're always like, even when we're not trying to, we're like being funny and like having skit ideas. We're like, oh, that'd be funny if this happened. And I'm like, oh, I need to write that down, you know?
Yeah.
So regardless, it might be for, I don't know, a music video idea one day. It might be for a film, who knows? But like, yeah, my mind's constantly going. I got ideas already for Lighthearted 2 with Josh and Rob. We're already talking about that. Like, yeah.
So then you write it on a notebook or something?
Yeah, I have like 3 notebooks. It's bad. And I don't know where like half my rhymes are. Sometimes I'm like, I knew I wrote it in somewhere. Or on the notes on my iPhone.
Do you go back to it once in a while?
Yeah, and then I'm like, oh, that was a dope rhyme. Oh, that was a dope idea. That was a dope skit. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually just started to write in a notebook with like my ideas, because one of my podcast guests was saying like when he's at work, he sometimes like ideas just spark, right?
Yeah.
In your head. And so he writes it down so he can just get it off his chest and then put it down, and then he'll come back to it. So like, shout out to Michael. So yeah, I do that now. So like I keep a little tiny notebook I got from like Uniqlo and not Uniqlo, sorry, from Daiso.
Nice.
And then like I just bring it with me everywhere, and then I try to go back and like I have a ton of ideas for like videos, podcasts, how to improve on things, and random shit.
That's your personal vault. Like whenever you need inspiration, if you ever go through writer's block, you can just go to that, be like, oh, that was a great idea,
Yeah.
It's always a good frame of reference.
Yeah. So, I mean, I also have like Evernote, which is like the note-taking app on your computer, on your phone.
Nice.
But I felt like when I was writing on Evernote, sometimes I would get distracted by a notification, and then I look at that first before I write the note, and I forget.
Yeah.
So I think writing it down is like something new to me, but I really enjoy it.
There's a cool relationship I have with like pen and paper. I don't know what it is, but it just feels. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
It's the artist in you for sure.
I guess. I love it. I love pens.
Yeah. I haven't written in a long time, and like, writing just for the sake of it. So that it was nice to get back into it for sure. Yeah.
Funny story too. My first mixtape, when I was on the process of like doing it, like I used to write everything in my notebook, but then I was like, when I rap it, I probably should have it on my phone. Sure. So like half of it was in my notebook, half of it was in my phone, and I had a Android at the time, and I updated it and all my notes were gone. And damn. I thought of quitting at that point. I was 18, just started rapping for like 2 years, and I was like, I'm quitting. This is a sign. God doesn't want me to rap. I don't know. Right. But then I was like, nah, this is the first hurdle. I was like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna do it, So I kept doing it, and I just rewrote over those songs. I remembered most of it, but yeah. So now I always write like important stuff in paper because it's reliable. Yeah, for sure. Oh man, that's rough. I feel like that would like for me that would suck if all my files just like got corrupted in a external hard drive. Yep. So I gotta have a better way of backing up my files. Me too. I have like not a million. I have like 4-5 terabyte hard drives that I put like all my music and all important photos and stuff. I'm like, all right, I have this stuff regardless. Yeah. Okay, that's an action item. I need to do that later. Go to Costco. Yeah. They have them for cheap. Okay, for sure. Cool. And the last question is from Karina Graham. Okay. Will you audition for the next season of Rhythm and Flow? You know what's really funny? I auditioned for the first season. Oh shit, you did? Yeah, that was going around. I remember, I think either email or Instagram. It was like, hey, show with Chance, Cardi, and T.I. Yeah, and I filled it out. I sent them some of my rap videos, wrote a thing about me. I didn't get it. Okay. Maybe. I haven't even seen the first season. Oh, it's pretty entertaining. Yeah, and I heard it's good. Cardi is funny as hell. I'm not a battle rapper, so true. Maybe that's one area where I will lose. I think that show. I think one thing that I wasn't sure about that show was that like, if you're an artist, do you need to battle rap? Do you need to be in cypher? Like, is that an aspect of like being a performer? Like, do people need to care about that? I don't know. I don't know either. But like when I saw that, I was like, man, if I was on the show and I'd be like, I got to battle rap. Yeah, like, for sure. I always joke around battle rap with people, but like, yeah. Like to compete is different. Yeah, and I think a lot of those people who are on there, I don't know, this is just my speculations, but a lot of those people already have clout going into the show, because if you already have 100K followers, you're guaranteed at least half those people to view Rhythm and Flow. So I don't have that clout. Like, I'm trying to really build organically and just get reposted on like rap pages and like other pages that like put on good rappers, and like, I don't know, I'm trying to build like an organic following. So it might take a while for me to get that 1 million followers or like 100K. And another person I look up to, Russ, he was like, why pay so much attention to social media? Yes, it gives you leverage in these shows and in these businesses, but why not be like real life rich and let the rest catch up with you? Interesting. Yeah. Okay. So like kind of going on with that, like how do you do that? Like, how do you not focus on social media, and what do you focus on? Focus on stuff that's important to you, stuff that's going to help you grow as a human being, like the music you want to make, the content you want to create, and finding who your audience is, something we were talking about earlier. Right. As soon as you find that, like Russ just dropped a song every day for 3 years, and then finally like built momentum because people are like, this guy's consistent, I like him. And looking through stats, it was like, okay, Germany, X amount of people listen to me, I can do a tour there. And like, forget social media, like I don't gotta post about what I'm doing, I don't gotta like be like, this is trending this week, I gotta make a video for that. It's like eventually people will catch on. So he just posts on like SoundCloud? Yeah. And then he doesn't share it or promote it on Instagram or anything? Well, he does now, but like if you look at his posts now, it's like tour clips of like him doing crazy stuff, or like him in the studio just like making beats. He's not like catering towards anything else. It's just like stuff you can see he cares about. Okay.
That's very interesting. Yeah. A lot of us, I mean, even me, like we're really into Instagram. So it's,
me too. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it allowed me to reach a lot of other people and connect with people, obviously.
Same.
So it's hard for me to think about not using it, but you know, shout outs to Russ for doing that.
Yeah.
And being successful.
Yeah. But I mean, I think Instagram's like a means to an end. I was at a Ask Camp conference, and one of the speakers there, Ryan Leslie, super talented producer, he was like, what would you do if Instagram failed tomorrow? Wasn't there anymore? How would you reach the people who've been listening to you? And I was like, I was thinking like, I don't know. So like going forward with this project, Lighthearted, I'm just like, I want to be on text basis with people or email basis. Or I should stop worrying about Instagram and like promoting to these many people, because every time you post, not everyone sees it. And like,
it's so, the algorithms are not like putting all your content to everyone's home screens.
It's so crazy. I talk to some people, they're like, man, I had this show. And I was like, I didn't know. It's like, I posted on Instagram. I was like, I didn't get to see it. And I was like, text me, man. I'll show up. Like, I want to support you any way I can. If I can, at least, you know, it's like, how do I get on that text basis with like people I want to support and people who want to support me?
Yeah, that's really good. I think that you have that there's a better connection when you're in that texting 100%. Basis.
Especially there's other people controlling the algorithm. It's like,
exactly.
They're messing with me, man. Why?
Yeah. Oh man. Well, that's when they want you to buy ads.
I know.
And then you pay. That's how they make money, right?
I've done that, and I'm like, I'm done buying ads. I feel like they don't do what they say they're going to do. They look cool, and you look like you get a lot of numbers, but I'm like, what did that really do? I didn't get any followers.
Yeah.
No one else is like boosting up my streams. Like,
good to know. Yeah. I was thinking of doing that, but
I mean, try it out for yourself.
I'm going to try it. Just like experiment.
Yeah.
For sure. Cool. So I guess, what's next for you? I know you have the album, but you know, when is it releasing and what's next after that?
It should be out by now. Lighthearted, November 5th. The official drop, 8 songs, super stoked, produced by Josh and Rob. After that, I think we have 2 more singles, one with Shecky, one with Thick Rick, coming out before the end of the year.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah, and then I'm working on this film and still auditioning, still working in the prison, and more music. I have a bunch of other projects I'm like side hustle working on, but yeah.
So if people want to learn improv from you, which prison should they go to? I'm just kidding.
There's 9 different prisons. So if you're in prison in California, if you're in Salinas, Soledad, Folsom, Old Folsom, New Folsom, Women's Folsom, you're in Tracy, you're in Stockton, you're in Valley State or Chowchilla, come holla at Red Ladder Theater Company. Sign up.
Cool. And so if people want to follow you on social media or anything, listen to your music, where should they go?
Activepoet, everything.
Nice.
Activepoet's how you can find me, except Snapchat. Somebody took it from me and I can't get it. But besides that, Activepoet, you can just look that up on any place you stream music and you should find me.
And it's just one word, Activepoet.
Activepoet. It's when you stream it, it's gonna be Dav and then the @ at Activepoet. Try to stand out, you know, because I wanted the Dav in there
for sure.
Kind of like, you know, a bunch of rappers have a bunch of different names, like Lil Wayne is like Wheezy and also Lil Tunechi and stuff like that. I was like, Chance the Rapper, he has a long name. I'm like, I want to be Dav Activepoet. Can I just be everything, you know?
Cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, fun.
Yeah, super good.
Sweet.
Nice.
Dude, thank you.
Thank you.